Hi everyone, Dr. Robinson here for an accessibility tip for the day. So most people who have access issues know the laws, and we, fly words around like ADA and 504 and FAPE, and schools say, okay, FAPE, free appropriate public education, great. What does that actually mean in regard to someone who has an exception to the rule of just sitting down and reading print? I can tell you, most sighted people do not understand these terms. We see a lot of things. Access, what does that mean? I don't know. They really don't quite get what that means. So I put it in really, really simple terms, but we need to do a lot of training our schools on this. If you can actually click your mouse in the middle of any page and you can use your arrow key to move around every letter, every item on that page, that is considered accessible. If you just give a movie to a blind child that does not have descriptions to it, I just suggest closing your eyes, and of course you hear all the content that you need to understand that movie. Then I actually send them a described video and they get the difference. So it's actually showing them what is accessible. If you take a mouse and you actually click on the middle of a page and it turns blue, that's a scanned image of text. Most sighted people believe that if you put something on a scanner and you scan it, whether it's JPEG or TIFF or PDF, they think, oh, PDF, I've heard those are accessible. Those are inaccessible PDFs because that's just an image of text. There are OCR programs, optical character recognition, where we send them through the programs. Sometimes they do a great job. Let's say the scan is just perfectly beautiful, excellent. It will do a pretty good job of the scanned image and turn it into text. But once again, there's always cleanup. If it's a poor scan, which most scans are, they are incredibly poor, and probably the reason why I'm doing this right now is because I've gotten a boatload of really poorly scanned images where a team member, I just have him full-time typing out materials because the scan is so poor. And it actually takes longer to run it through an OCR program and then do cleanup as it does just to go ahead and type it out. We also have dictation programs so they can just sit there and talk it out. But once again, why? If the schools actually, and not just schools, we're talking companies, the whole ball of wax, it's helping them understand how to go about just purchase, force the companies to do the right thing. So all those companies that are producing materials and websites that are already accessible, and accessible means if you're a sighted person, just click your mouse and you can move around the page really, really easily. And if there's an audio or video that it's actually giving descriptions about what is actually being played, that's accessible. That's accessible. And web designers are actually making pages accessible. As in, you can click, once again, sighted person, you can click on a mouse and you can move the mouse all over the page and it can access every single point on that. Doesn't just mean that. Of course, web designers need to make things with headings and links. And the way you would actually know that is you would have to have talking software. Just find someone with talking software and have them pull up their headings and links. And if it has a whole bunch of buttons, then someone needs to get a hold of that web designer and have them actually label what's on the page. That is also accessibility. It's not really a difficult thing. It's just that so many companies and schools are actually paying for all the flash and inaccessible products. Until people stop paying companies that are not making their materials accessible, it's not going to change. But if we can educate our schools and our businesses into what truly is accessible, and then they stop paying for what is not, then change will occur. It's a money thing. It is a money thing. As long as people continue to buy what is inaccessible, they will keep doing what they're doing. But we need to help teach the schools what it is, and that would be going in and actually giving them real life examples of what is inaccessible and what is not. I actually had a college call. They had no idea what accessibility really meant until I went through and literally showed them what is accessible. and how and what makes accessible. And those images, they were shocked. And it was just something as simple as saying, just click on that. See if you can move an arrow around it. And as soon as they could not, they got it. They actually just had no idea. And I would say the majority are not trying to be mean or cruel. They just really don't know. They know, they've heard of those laws, but they don't know actually what it means. And so we truly have to show them what it means. That's the teachers, that's everybody who uses materials and works with blind students. And it's not just blind students, it's anybody with an exception to the rule on how they learn. And you know what? That's the majority of the people. We have a lot of learning disabled, autistic. There are so many impairments around there, and if the materials were accessible, they could use talking software and other materials. But actually being able to access what the school is already producing. So join in with me. The schools start to decide by March what they're going to be teaching the next year. Help the schools understand what is accessible and what is not. If you can get the school to agree to have a meeting and truly make change, well, I am in the process of going around to schools and truly trying to help them understand materials that they should have. But it's going to take a lot of help. It's really getting in there and really helping sighted people understand what is accessible and what is not. Then all of our students can just join in on classes and just be a regular kid. I say regular kid as long as they have the Braille instruction and, biggest of all, the technology instruction to access their world. So whatever the teachers are doing, PowerPoints and Excels and Word and websites, that computer can handle it all. There's lots of other tools to add with it, but get your kids that technology instruction also. So let's go about trying to help the sighted people understand what access truly means. Okay, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, great new year. Let's keep the progress going and moving.